Hey you guys, so we're gonna do our lab 1 exercise for week 2. So I have all my stuff. I have my gloves, marker, my scale. I have my bags, my chain of custody form. Scissors will already cut the scale out, so I have that. Masking tape, and then I have my lift tape sheets. So let's go ahead and get started and read the scenario. I already have my sock. It's actually on the floor. You'll see that during the process of the scenario. So the scenario is case number 042327. On January 21st of 2017 at 6:36, police were dispatched to Greenfield Park at the report of an attempted robbery with possible homicide. The victim, Dean Feister, was walking through the park when the man came up behind him, hit him in the back of the head, and attempted to take his wallet. Mr. Feister attempted to defend himself in a short scuffle occurred. The suspect started to flee when Mr. Feister grabbed his shoe to stop him. The suspect's shoe, along with his sock, came off during the scuffle. In an attempt to get away before police arrived, the suspect stabbed the victim and grabbed his shoe, but did not pick up his sock before he fled. Mr. Dean Feister was pronounced deceased at the scene. 5 hours later, police took Roger O'Barter into custody. As a crime scene investigator, one of the pieces of evidence you collect is the sock, so that it may be sent to lab for analysis. It says, as a crime scene investigator, one of the pieces of evidence you collect is a sock. Place the photo micrographic scale next to the sock. I have my camera phone, and then we're gonna put our gloves on. I actually attempted to do this lab outside, but it didn't work out too good, so I'm gonna try this inside. Okay, so we have our gloves on. And we have a plastic bag. And then we have our scale, which I'm gonna let you guys see, which is actually the sock and the scale. And we're going to pick up the sock with our gloves on and place it in the evidence. Alright, and then we're going to tear off a piece of masking tape, which is the same length as the evidence bag. So this right here. Just like this. So let's see, the masking tape, seal the top of the bag and use a permanent marker to write your initials, which is HH, and then the case number, the date, and the number 1 item. And again, the case number was 042327. The date was January 1st. 1/2/17, and item number 1, which is the stuff I have right here, on the masking tape. Then it says to use the permanent marker for the crime scene scenario part 1 for step 4 to complete chain of custody. Let's see, chain of custody form is right here. I actually filled one out earlier, but I want to fill it out again. I guess as a crime scene investigator, we would have a clipboard. That's not actually in the scenario, but I'm actually going to use it for base walls. So I can write on this chain of custody form. So case number was 042327. Offense is attempted robbery and possible homicide. Submitting officer will be me, Hillary Hawkins. ID number, I guess, will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Victim is Dean Fishner. Suspect is Roger O'Barter. Date and time 1:20. Now this scenario says 5 hours later, so it would still be 1:21:17 at, let's say, 11:36 p.m. Location of seizure. Because they just picked them up. Took them into custody, so. But this would be Greenfield Park. The item number 1, which is one, quantity is 1, which is a sock. White sock. Alright, and then we have a chain of custody, which is item 1, time and date, 1:27:17, 11:36 p.m. Released by me, which is Hillary Hawkins. And then we're going to go down to the next scenario, and it says, the same day you collect the evidence, you transport it to a laboratory as specifies in fibers. You give the custody of number 1 item to Dan Brown, which is the fiber expert. Dr. Brown states that he will lift possible trace evidence from item 1 and identify any trace of evidence found as item 2, and will analyze samples obtained from item 2 under a microscope to compare the fibers of possible matching sock seized from the suspect and any additional fibers found. So, I guess on chain of custody, we're going to, well, I finished my chain of custody form, so I'll put that right there. It says, now I will act as Dr. Brown, Dan Brown, working in a laboratory. You will lift possible fibers traced from the sock collected as crime scene. I still have my gloves on, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the evidence bag containing item 1 and remove it from the bag. Remove it from the bag. Peel and discard the clear plastic cover to expose the adhesive side of one sheet of lift tape, which is my lift tape right here. Now it says place it on the sole of the sock. So I have my sock right here. Let's see. This here. Take out my lift sheet. Lightly press the tape down and remove it by pressing the sock. Do it like this. Place the lift sheet into a plastic bag for earrings. It's kind of hard to do this with these gloves on. place the lift tape sheet to a plastic bag of evidence. This is a different bag. This is the first bag. This is the second bag. Put this in there. And then same thing again. Masking tape, same length as the bag. And seal it, masking tape. Then we're going to use the permanent marker again, and I'm still Dr. Brown, so I'm going to put DB, case number 042327. The date is still 1/27/17. 1/21/17, and we're going to item number 2, masking tape. Complete the chain of record form. Item number 2. I'm going to put item number 2 and continue scenario. So we're going to put 1/27/17 to 11/36. Dan Brown, and then we're going to release it to Amanda Scopes. So I'm going to be Amanda Scopes. Says immediately after Dr. Brown is finished using the evidence, he places it to the evidence bag, seals it up, adds his initials to the evidence bag, which I've done. On January 8th, Dr. Brown gives custody of items 1 and 2 to Amanda Scopes to a DNA analysis. So we're gonna do that. So we're gonna put our sock back in the evidence. And I'll take like a word. It doesn't say. Yes, it does. Use a permanent marker to add the initials of any person that opened the evidence bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put DB. On this bag too, because I've touched it because I'm Dr. Brown. It's 4/2/3/2/7/1/21. Alright, so use a camera. Use a camera to take a picture of the evidence bags. So I can't take a picture, but this is evidence bag number 1, evidence bag number 2. But then again, I'll take a picture. Photo 1, photo 2. Okay. And then let's finish the scenario. She attempts to collect a sample of DNA from inside of the sock, compared to a sample taken from the suspect. She places the evidence back in the bag, seals it up, added her initials to the evidence bag on February 2nd. Get custody. Okay, so what she does, or me, which I'm Amanda Scopes now, I'm attempt to take the evidence, the DNA from the sock, to compare it to DNA taken from the suspect. She places the evidence back in the bag with Susan as her initials. So we're gonna put AS, so that would be January 28, 17. Number 1, Amanda Scopes, 04237 12817, number 2. Okay. So I added Amanda Scopes' initials onto the evidence bags. And then on February 2nd, I'm going to give custody of items number 1 and 2 to the officer of William Dune, the same day he registered item 1 and 2 in the evidence room at Greenfield Police Station, where they remain until the trial is held. So now what I have to do is I have to write down my chain of custody form, item 1 and item 2 on January 28th, February 2nd. Let's go, February 2nd. It comes from Amanda Scopes to William Dune. And then item 2 also will be Amanda Scopes to William Dune. And I'm guessing that's all I have to do for the scenario. It's really my first time reading the scenario and actually going through with the thing. I think I skipped a step of actually taking a picture of the sock when it was on the ground. I just thought about that. Let me see. But I did my chain of custody form, which is right here. So now after I do all that, take my gloves off, dispose of them. I think that's pretty much how I understand the lab. But as we get more into doing labs, I'm pretty sure I will get better at doing them. So that's my lab 1. Yep, that's lab 1. All right.